guys, it's Jordan. So today's video is going to be my January reading wrap up. It was kind of a weird month because I only read on my Kindle and I only read thrillers, which is just like not really normal for me. Like I like thrillers and I like reading on my Kindle, but I normally have a lot more of a mix than that. I was honestly just kind of in a slump this month. It started out really good. I read a bunch of books back to back that I was loving. They were all by the same author. And then I was like, I'm gonna switch it up and try to read something different. And then I guess that wasn't a good idea because I started like probably 4 or 5 books, got like 5 to 10% into them, and then just like stopped them. I just wasn't in the mood for them. So it was kind of frustrating, but finally found one book after those books that caught my attention enough to finish it. Now I am back on track and I've started finding some books that are holding my attention. So I feel like I'm out of my slump now, fingers crossed. So most of the books that I read in January were Freida McFadden books. She's one of my new favorite authors. She's a thriller author. All of her books are on Kindle Unlimited. This book I read by her this month was The Locked Door. It's about the daughter of a serial killer and her father does go to prison or jail or whatever for these murders, and fast forward to present day, there are now murders happening that are a lot like the murders her father was committing. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. Of course, she's a suspect, yada yada. It was really entertaining, really fast-paced. All of Freida McFadden's books are really fast-paced, and I did give this one 5 stars. So after I finished that, I picked up One by One by Freida McFadden. This one is a snowy, isolated setting thriller. It's about a friend group who ends up deciding to go on like a little trip to like a resort in the snow, and they end up getting lost on the way there, and they feel like someone's kind of like sabotaging them, but they don't really know who because I think there's like, I don't know, 6 of them. And then when they're trying to get to this resort, slowly one by one, they are dying and they're trying to figure out what is going on. Is one of them like sabotaging them? Does someone want them all dead? What's happening? This was another really fast-paced one. I did give this one 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite by her, but I did really enjoy it. After that, I read Do Not Disturb, also by Freida McFadden. This one starts out with a woman who kills her husband. She doesn't want to get in trouble for committing the crimes, so she ends up deciding to flee the scene of the crime and run away and try to hide. So she ends up hiding out at this like kind of secluded motel kind of thing, and the story just takes off from there. This was another really fast-paced thriller, really easy to read, and I gave this one 4 stars. Okay, sorry about the lighting and angle change. My camera battery died. I had to charge it when I came back. It was dark outside, so now we get non-natural lighting and we love that. Continuing, the next book that I read was The Inmate, also by Freida McFadden. This one is about a girl who works as like a nurse practitioner, I believe. And she takes a job at a prison in which her ex-boyfriend from when she was like a teenager, and he is locked up there for killing their friends when they were teenagers. She is the one who got him put in the prison. So you can assume that's probably pretty awkward, but it makes for quite a good story. It also follows another storyline of their friend from when they were teenagers who was the other survivor of the murders. And there's kind of like a romance between him and the main character. Honestly, that's all I want to say about the book. I don't want to give away too much. I feel like the plot twist was really good in this one. I did give this one 4 stars. The next book that I read was Do You Remember by Freida McFadden. This one is about a girl who every day when she wakes up, she can't remember her life from like the past, I want to say like 10 years or so. The last thing she remembers is her ex-boyfriend proposing to her. So as you can imagine, she wakes up every morning really confused. And so every morning he has to tell her what's going on, and she doesn't always believe it, and she thinks something sketchy is going on. This book did get a little bit repetitive considering that like every day you're seeing the same thing happening, but the buildup is worth it. This one was so good. I did give this one 4 stars, but I would say it's more like a 4.5. Next book I read was Want to Know a Secret, also by Freida McFadden. And this one is actually about a YouTuber. She's a baker, and she's like a really good baker, famous for her baking. And basically the book starts out with her getting a text asking if she knows where her son is. And she's like, what the heck is going on? And so from there, she keeps getting these really strange texts asking her things about her life, and it seems like somebody knows her secrets, so she's trying to figure out what's going on. And then this woman moves in next door and she ends up becoming really good friends with her, and these other ladies in the neighborhood aren't so nice. I think she's a little bit weird, so they don't really like including her. So it's very much so like a suburban mom kind of drama, but definitely has that thriller aspect, and I gave this one 5 stars. That wraps up the Freida McFadden books that I read this month, which was 6 books. I believe I have read 9 or 10 books by her now, so I am roughly halfway through her backlist. I'm thinking once I finish reading her books that I will do maybe like a Freida McFadden tier ranking video, like a guide to Freida McFadden's books. Let me know if either of those interest you, and I can definitely work on that. And so this is where I kind of got into a slump. I feel like I was just flying through Freida McFadden's book. They're all really quick, easy reads. Some of them are under 300 pages. And so when I finally decided to read something different, I got kind of into a slump. Nothing was hitting the spot for me. And finally I decided to pick up My Sister the Serial Killer, which I also had on Kindle. For whatever reason, that book got me out of my slump. I actually gave it 3 stars. I really didn't enjoy it that much. It really kept me entertained and it pulled me out of my slump, so I can't complain. The book was a little weird. It's about a girl whose sister is a serial killer. She keeps murdering her boyfriends for whatever reason. I feel like the story had potential to be really good. Like, it was really entertaining, but I felt like it was kind of pointless. Like, I expected some sort of big plot twist at the end, or just something that like the story was building up to be, and I feel like it just never got there. But again, I was entertained the whole time. It got me out of my slump, and it was like under 300 pages, so it was a really quick, easy read. The chapters were like maybe 2 pages each, and it did take place somewhere in Nigeria, which I thought was really interesting. I thought it was cool to learn a little bit about Nigerian culture. So that ends my January reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me. I don't know that I'm gonna do any TBR videos just because I am really bad at sticking to a TBR. Some videos planned where I'm going to be reading specific books, so I guess I will have like those as part of my TBR, but aside from that, I pretty much mood read. I think I'm just gonna stick with the wrap-up videos. So let me know if you enjoyed. I'm hoping I will not have any slumps in February, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.